Have you ever watched a great video or read an inspiring quote and suddenly felt completely fired up? You tell yourself, starting tomorrow, everything changes. I am going to study English for 2 hours every single day. I am going to be perfect. You feel so happy and so strong when you make that promise. But then tomorrow actually comes. You wake up tired. You have a long day at work or school. By the time you get home, sitting down to study for 2 hours feels like trying to climb a massive mountain without any shoes. It feels heavy. It feels stressful. So you tell yourself, I'm just too tired tonight. I will do double the work tomorrow instead. But tomorrow looks exactly like today. One missed day becomes a week. A week becomes a month. And months down the road, your English is in the exact same place it was before. Please, hear me friend to friend. Do not feel bad about this. You are not lazy and you are not broken. You have just been trapped by a very common lie. The lie is that you need massive bursts of energy and non-stop motivation to achieve your dreams. Today, we are going to break that lie completely. We are going to unlock a quiet, hidden power that is much stronger than talent or luck. It is incredibly simple, but it changes your entire life. It is called consistency. Over the next half hour, we aren't just going to look at textbook words. We are going to change the way your brain thinks about progress. By the time this video ends, you will know exactly how to make English a natural, easy part of your life without stress, fear, or burnout. Get comfortable, grab a warm drink, and let's talk. Let's look at how our minds actually work. When you decide you want to speak fluent, confident English, you naturally want it to happen right now. We live in a world where everything is incredibly fast. We get our food fast, we scroll through short videos fast, and we get answers to our questions in seconds. So our brains think that learning a language should be fast too. Because of this, we try to take what I call a giant step. You decide to spend your entire Saturday studying grammar rules. You sit at your desk for 5 hours. You push your brain to remember 100 different things. By the time you finish, your head hurts and you feel completely exhausted. The next day, you look at your English book on the table and your brain instantly associates that book with pain and exhaustion. You feel an invisible wall of stress. You start thinking, maybe English is just too hard for me. Maybe I'm just not built for this. But let's look at something beautiful and natural. A small baby learning how to walk. Does that baby stand up on day one and run a marathon? No, never. The baby takes one tiny, shaky step, loses balance, and falls straight onto the floor. Does the mother look at the baby, get upset, and say, well, what a shame. This baby clearly has no natural talent for walking. We should just give up. Of course not. That sounds ridiculous, right? The baby simply gets back up and takes another tiny, shaky step the next day, and the day after that. The baby doesn't care about running. The baby is just being consistent. When you force yourself to take giant steps, you scare your own brain. But when you focus on a step that is so small it feels almost stupidly easy, your brain stays totally calm. Instead of telling yourself, I need to study for 2 hours today, change the rule. Tell yourself, today I am just going to learn 3 new words. That takes less than 2 minutes. Anyone can find 2 minutes, even on the busiest, most exhausting day of their life. That is how you beat the trap. You don't need giant, painful steps. You just need small, beautiful steps taken every single day. Let's be completely honest with each other about motivation. Motivation is like that fair weather friend who only shows up to your house when the sun is shining, the music is playing, and everything is fun. But the moment it starts to rain and you need real help moving heavy boxes in the dark, that friend is nowhere to be found. Their phone is turned off. Motivation depends entirely on your emotions and your environment. If you wake up on a beautiful morning, have a great cup of coffee, and get a nice text message, you feel highly motivated. But if you sleep poorly, get stuck in traffic, and have someone shout at you at work, your motivation dies instantly. If you only choose to practice your English on the days when you feel motivated, you will only end up practicing a few days out of the whole month. And practicing a few days a month will never give you the fluency you deserve. The word that must replace motivation is discipline. Discipline means you do the work simply because you made a sacred promise to your future self, not because you feel like it in the moment. Think about brushing your teeth every morning. When your alarm goes off at 7 a.m., do you lie in bed, stare at the ceiling, and wait to feel deeply inspired to brush your teeth? Do you watch a motivational video on your phone about the beauty of clean teeth before you can walk to the bathroom? No, you don't even think about it. You walk to the sink and you brush your teeth completely automatically. It doesn't take emotional energy. It is a habit. It is simply a part of who you are. We want your English practice to become just like brushing your teeth. We want it to be a tiny, peaceful, natural part of your daily rhythm. When you stop waiting for motivation to strike and start building a small house of discipline, you become completely unstoppable. I want to share a very simple math secret with you that completely changed the way I look at growth. Don't worry, there are no hard formulas here, just a beautiful truth. Imagine you decide to improve your English by just 1% every day. Not 20%, not 50%, just a tiny, almost invisible 1%. If you make the choice to improve by 1% every day for one full year, do you know how much better you will be by the end of those 365 days? Because your daily progress stacks up on top of itself, just like interest on money inside a bank. You won't just be 365% better. You will actually be 37 times better than when you started. That is the quiet magic of consistency. Let's look at two different English learners to see how this plays out in real life. Person one relies completely on motivation. Once a month, he gets a huge burst of energy and studies hard for 6 hours straight. Total time spent? 6 hours. But because he waits 30 long days between his study sessions, his brain forgets almost 80% of what he learned. Every single month, he feels like he is restarting from absolute zero. He feels stuck, angry, and hopeless. Person two relies on consistency. She decides to practice her English for just 15 minutes every single morning while her morning tea is cooling down. Total time spent in a month? Over 7 hours. But because she does it every single day without a break, her brain never has time to forget. The phrases stay warm and fresh in her mind. She builds real momentum. 1 year later, person one is still staring at the same page, unable to speak a full sentence. But person two is sitting in a cafe, having relaxed, comfortable conversations with native speakers. Small, simple actions, when repeated daily, create massive, historic results over time. Your 15 minutes today might feel like a drop of water in the ocean, but it is slowly rewriting the paths inside your brain every single morning.
Now, let's talk about the practical side. How do we actually build an English routine that you won't quit after 3 days? Here is a simple 3-step method that you can start using today. Step 1. Tie it to an old habit. The biggest mistake people make is trying to find brand new time in your day. Your life is already packed with responsibilities. Instead of creating new time, attach your English practice to an anchor habit, something you already do every single day without fail. Instead of saying, "I will study English at 5 p.m., you will forget or get busy. Say, "Right after I pour my morning cup of coffee, I will listen to one English story for 10 minutes.
Or, while I am standing at the sink washing the dishes after dinner, I will speak out loud to myself in English about how my day went. Your morning coffee or your evening dishes becomes the automatic trigger. It gently tells your brain, look at that, it's English time now. Step 2, make it too small to fail. When life gets messy, and it always does, big goals are the first things we drop. You must make your daily goals so incredibly small that your brain cannot find an excuse to say no.
Read one single page of an English book. Listen to just 2 minutes of audio. Learn exactly 2 new words. On the beautiful days when you have lots of time and high energy, feel free to do more. But on the dark days when you are completely exhausted, you only have to do your tiny 2-minute goal. That keeps your streak alive. That keeps your identity as a learner intact.
Step 3. Track your wins visually. Go out and get a simple paper calendar and hang it right on your bedroom wall where you can see it clearly. Every single day that you complete your tiny English step, take a red marker and draw a big, proud X over that day. After just 4 or 5 days, you will see a beautiful chain of red X's growing across your wall. Your only job from that moment on is a very simple one. Do not break the chain. Seeing that visual proof of your hard work gives your brain a hit of happiness, and it makes you want to keep showing up.
One of the deepest challenges of being consistent is that real growth is almost always completely invisible in the beginning. If you put on your shoes, go to the gym today, and lift weights for an hour, you come home, look in the mirror, and see the exact same body. Nothing has changed. If you sit down and practice English for 15 minutes tonight, you don't wake up tomorrow morning speaking like a Hollywood actor.
Because we cannot see an immediate change with our eyes, our human psychology tricks us into thinking, this isn't working. I'm wasting my energy. Think about a patient farmer who plants a tiny seed deep into the dark, cold dirt. Every single morning, he walks out to the field and pours water over the dry soil. Day 1, nothing but dirt. Day 5, still nothing but dirt. Day 20, absolutely nothing has changed on the surface. If that farmer does not understand the laws of nature, he might get angry, stomp his feet, and say, "This is stupid. I have been watering this dirt for 3 weeks and nothing is happening." He will stop watering, walk away, and the seed will die. But a wise farmer smiles and trusts the process. He knows that deep underground, where human eyes cannot see, that tiny seed is growing strong, deep roots. It is absorbing life. It is preparing itself.
And then, one beautiful morning, a bright green leaf breaks through the hard crust of the earth and climbs toward the sun. Your English journey is that exact same seed. Every single time you read a sentence, listen to a podcast, or practice a sound out loud, you are pouring water onto your mind. You might not feel fluent next Monday, but your intellectual roots are growing deep into the ground. Trust the quiet, invisible growth. Keep watering your mind every single day, and I promise you, the results will show themselves to the world when the time is right.
As we bring our conversation to a close today, I want you to carry one powerful thought in your heart. Every single expert was once a nervous beginner. The people you see online speaking English with beautiful confidence, the people leading international business meetings, the people moving to new countries, they were not born with a special language gene in their blood. They didn't find a magic shortcut or a secret potion. They were simply human beings who made a choice to not quit. They chose to show up on the bright days when it was easy, and they chose to show up on the dark days when it was hard. They picked consistency over comfort.
You have that exact same beautiful power inside you right now. You do not need a perfect accent today. You do not need an enormous vocabulary right now. And you certainly do not need to be completely fearless. You just need to be willing to take one tiny, humble step today, and then have the courage to repeat it again tomorrow. I believe in you deeply. I know you have the strength to reach the fluency and the future you dream of.
Let's start your brand new chain of consistency right now, together, while we are connected. Take a moment and write down just one tiny English action you promise to do tomorrow morning. Write it down in the comments so we can all look at it, encourage you, and protect each other's chains. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable time with me today. Keep it simple, keep it humble, and keep showing up for yourself. I will see you in our very next conversation. You've got this. Subscribe for more valuable lessons. Bye-bye.